Hello everyone, I'm Braun Mithra. Welcome to another Let's Talk Kingdom Death video. Today we'll be discussing more of the beta content. There was another video back in May that myself and Jay Richter from the CCG team, we talked about all the Living Glossary updates, all the beta stuff that's been released. This is another video talking about more beta stuff that's been released since May. So if you want, you can go back and watch the original video. Again, I'm so glad that Jay has time to spend with me, because I never want to just make it so it's my opinion that you're getting on all this stuff. I like getting multiple opinions just to share as much as I can, and these Let's Talk videos allow me to do that. They're more of like a podcast thing. I can do Discord talks and stuff. It's just this format of video allows me to actually get more community members involved. So I'm so glad that I'm able to bring that to these videos. So I hope you enjoy, and thank you so much to Jay and the CCG team. Make sure to check out the CCG team. They do great Kingdom Death homebrew, and I'll see you next time there's more beta content. Hello everyone, I'm Braun Mithra. Welcome back to the beta discussion Let's Talk videos. Last time I was joined by Jay Richter, and again, Jay, if you want to introduce yourself again.
Hi, I'm Jay. If you're around the Lanterns Reign Discords, you've seen me around. I work with CCG a lot. I was the lead designer on Drifter Knight. I helped with Storm Knight a little bit, Storm Dancer, as well as a bit of writing on Forsaker Sisters, and currently working on a big project with Cheshire. Big cool stuff. I don't know how much I'm actually about to allowed to say about it. It's his baby. I am just 50% on there. But yeah, hi.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I have not played it, but I have seen a lot of it. I've seen the last 5 years building towards it, and then I've seen all the stuff for what happens.
Oh, it's super cool.
It's really
big
cool.
Hype. Finishing what Adam should have.
Yes,
etc.
It is People of Lantern specific. It is really cool.
Very cool. But yes, happy to be here. Happy that you have me again.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that will be the thing. If you want to join me on, it's open invite whenever there's store stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always fun.
Yeah, this one, I'm really excited because this one definitely plays into the way that I know, because you and I have talked a lot out of this, and I know exactly how you like to play Kingdom Death, and these things that we're going to talk about specifically definitely look like Survivor family kind of passing down generation type building stuff. So I'm actually really excited. I'm glad you're here for that.
Yeah, it's super cool. It ticks all my boxes. I love lantern armor. I love weapon / gear proficiency. We should just call it gear proficiency now.
Yeah, that is where we'll start with that, because that's a good segue to now that. So we're going to go back a little bit because technically we've talked about Sealed, but we had yet to see the fighting art, and that kind of changes my opinion on Sealed.
Well, that's just because beta content has no thought put into it besides the rules.
So we're going to touch back on Sealed, and we're going to look back on the weapon proficiency from Willow, which we've already talked about last time, but so we're not going to spend too much time on it. And the other reason why I really wanted to wait on this was because I had specifically asked Poot some questions, and we've got a little more insight now on both how this stuff will work, how it works in the future, and where beta might fit in. So he specifically talked about beta will not be part of Gambler's Chest for sure. None of this stuff will appear there. It might appear in the future. He didn't say where it is. That's why I can rule out Gambler's Chest, right? You agree? Because Gambler's Chest is like almost done. There's no way he's going to be throwing this stuff in this late. He could, but I doubt it.
Now that it's Gambler's Chest, I'm pretty sure has had a solid a list of content that's all he's limiting himself to. I think he's mentioned that in the past, but I don't think anything new is going to be added to the chest now.
No, yeah, and I've shared with you the comment, and this definitely sounds like it might not even be in Campaigns of Death, but we don't know exactly how far along Campaigns of Death is.
I don't think it's that far behind, but yeah, I'll get to my thoughts on where I think it'll show up at some point.
But he does say this looks like it would be in vignettes, which makes sense. Aya was already talked about being in the Butcher vignette, so that for Aya specifically, that seems like a pretty solid place for her beta content to show up. The Sun Lion I would
I
have
mean,
liked to see in Campaigns of Death, but as far as this other stuff goes, it looks like from his comment here, future monster releases would be Wave 4.
yeah, maybe. I'm honestly thinking a lot of this will show up in Wave 5. Um, he'll. I can't see Poots not doing a bunch of other cool stuff with. I feel like Ringtail is going to be Gambler's Chest 2 more than it'll be Wave 4 2. I think that's where a lot of this is going to show up, personally.
So do you think? So when you say Wave 5, do you mean Kickstarter 3, or do you legit mean in Wave
Yeah,
5?
pretty. I'm not sure how we'll do it business wise, but I'm obviously that we're going to get more content after Wave 4. We've seen the Vision Owl, we've seen the Ringtail Survivors, and the Red Dragon miniature that he was mocking up, or at least I think it's the Red Dragon.
Yeah, I agree. That you're talking about
De-
the one that looks like a mayfly.
yeah, it's like a big mayfly with a human
Yeah,
face.
I agree. That is definitely Red Dragon.
I think a lot of it will show up there. It just feels like in my gut more of a Gambler's Chest type thing than an inverted mountain type thing. But maybe I'm crazy.
Well, back to what you said, why I said this was a good segue. The thing, this stuff is really cool, and what you said was probably correct. It shouldn't say on Survivor record sheets anymore. It shouldn't say weapon proficiency. It really should just say proficiency.
Yeah, definitely. Or gear proficiency at the very least.
Yeah, just it shouldn't be so specific. And because here, there's no way it's showing up in Gambler's Chest, and I feel Poots would have said, "Oh, this stuff will be for campaigns of death." It hopefully, because Gambler's Chest and campaigns of death, in my opinion, would be the ones where you'd see sweeping changes to a lot of innovations, and that's where a lot of wording, things like family and stuff, would have been nicer had it just been loose and just said you can pass your proficiency or you can pass your any type of gear type down.
I just don't think it's something that he's really concerned about. I think Poots thinks a lot like I do, where, it's fine, they'll get what I mean, which is an awful way to run a business, but I do it because I'm not running a business.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I wish this stuff, because this stuff is really cool, and now knowing that it's not campaigns, like now knowing what beta he means by it, it's going to be future stuff, maybe Wave 4, maybe Wave 5. It means that we might not see as cool of stuff like this, and that's a shame because this stuff is really cool for our specific type of playstyles.
Yeah, I agree. I think if this stuff was added to the chest, people would be absolutely pitchforks in hand. Because, like, oh my god, you're adding more stuff. You're already going to be 6 years behind.
I agree. It is interesting now because we've seen this stuff and we've got his comment here about it probably not being in campaigns of death. What things like Axe Family and what Till Death to Us Part. I forget what the name of that bonding principle was. That what it was?
Partnership principle.
Well, whatever the Death to Us Part was. It makes me wonder where the future of that's going because this seems like the future of that, and that was a while ago.
Yeah.
That was
That was ages ago.
Yeah.
That was called prototype content, actually.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder where that went.
I think, like, Axe Family, it'll be like an Axe philosophy. Because more and more, the chest over time has seemed to have drifted away from advanced Kingdom Death and more towards it's just an expansion. Like, a lot of the stuff, yeah, it's technically modular with other campaigns, but it really, really feels like a lot of it's just for the Dreamkeeper campaign, which has its pros and cons, obviously. It's definitely outside the purview of COD because that's just supposed to just be bringing the original expansions up to 1.6. And it should stay as that. Obviously, we've gotten some more things in there, like the mini campaigns, but I can't personally see Blighted Valley as being much more than People of the Bloom, frankly. Like it'll be a couple of things and a modified Tom fight at the end, probably, and that sort of thing. I don't think adding core game rules is within the COD purview, though. I think it's definitely something that should wait till down the line for a wave 5, hypothetically.
So this comment was interesting. I thought it was worth talking about, just because it kind of gives us insight of what beta is, and now knowing that it's it loosens up what you can expect from this stuff as it comes out from month to month, or whatever the release schedule is. The going back quick to novel proficiency, to when we saw that with Willow, and the gaining 3 courage was the, or not so much gaining 3. Novel proficiency was like a branch, more so like a skill tree or a branch off of sword. And that looks like, now that we've seen these new proficiencies, it doesn't look like they all are going to be that way. Do you expect to see more? You expect to see in the future things will be more branching path, or do you think they'll just be outright new stuff?
And I think we'll see both, frankly. I think eventually with vignettes and stuff and future content, we'll get novel branches for every weapon type. If not 2 novel branches, one for understanding, one for courage. That's possible. Um, I think for anybody who's played Monster Hunter, the novel proficiencies are like different hunting styles or switch skills. If you want to talk about Rise, it's more of like an option, and then the armor proficiency is adding a new thing. Maybe we could get novel lantern armor proficiency. They're 2 separate things, and both can exist without stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree they can. I just wonder why, or not so much why. It's it's interesting to think that the skill trees and stuff are coming, but at the same time, you'll also have things like sealed and other ways of bolstering this like whole entire, like these last 3 have radically changed proficiency, like entirely. Like before, way it is now, as it is, you just have one, you finish the track, you get the mastery. Now there's like novels, there's skill tree, there's different skill paths to go down. There's the sealed is a whole different, opens a whole new door to any type of gear, not even weapons. You could have like sealed items and it wouldn't even matter. And
oh
then
yeah, no, it's it's gone from being a a process to an actual character build or a character development plot line. I love it. I love it because it very much differentiates survivors, and it's also there's so many things that you can do with your proficiency that you want so many different things that it's very much encouraging you to actually rotate your hunting party, which again I already do, but it's even more incentive.
it is definitely a way. Well, sealed. Okay, we'll talk about sealed again real quick. Now that we've seen the mastery, or not the mastery. Now that we've seen the special fighting art, but sealed is neat. But this one is crazy powerful.
Yeah, it's just an example. I'm not going to ever use it.
Do you think so? Now that I've seen this, right? I've gone from thinking sealed was an interesting thing to now I think it needs to be more early game because of the looseness of the rules. I guess that. Do you think you could pass sealed along because it's with via family?
I personally would rule it as yes, but I can understand the argument of no. Because one, the concept of handing down a secret fighting style is just too cool for Poots to pass up and to not intend. I think that's the intended, but also it's wonky, and obviously family isn't set up, isn't literally worded to work with sealed or armor proficiency for that matter. So it's a raw versus rye argument, which both sides have merits to.
Yeah, and
But yeah,
we talked about that. It's a shame because this is so super cool that I wish family and nightmare training and stuff like that loosened up because this stuff is so cool and because that time has passed and I don't Gambler's Chest and Campaigns of Death would have been the time to do that.
well, yeah. I mean, Hard Pack 2.
That's true.
You hate that term, don't you?
Oh no, Card Pack 2. I love the idea of Card Pack 2. I hate it's that Adam Poots is doing it because it won't happen frequently enough. But the
Yeah, fair
idea,
enough. I think
yeah,
we'll probably get a Card Pack 2 / Kingdom Death 1.7 at some point.
yeah. I mean, I love the idea of it. I just know that it will happen way too late.
And it won't be within the next 3 years, but eventually, maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, Card Pack 2 in a perfect world would also be a great way of fixing it. Now, there is an interesting to it. Another side of this is if you can do it, it is extra incentive to hold on to the weapon a little longer. Because as it is now with sealed, once you hit the specialization, once you get your 3 ranks, that's it. You're done with it, and you don't need to technically use that weapon anymore because you've got the fighting art. If you could pass it down, you would need to go to 6 in order to give your offspring 3 levels. So
Yeah, exactly.
I'm 50-50 on it. I'm against it 100% if they are all late game fighting arts. If they are all like this one, oof.
I think what could be really, really cool is if you have it as one of those progressing fighting arts to where you get the first fighting art when you hit 3, and then you unlock the rank 2 or advanced fighting art when you hit mastery.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
As a concept for these, but sealed is super open-ended. What I have been a thing that I wrote up for fun is a katana that's locked into the sheath, and then when you unseal it, you actually archive it and you gain the katana and the sheath as 2 separate gear items. You can do anything with sealed.
Yeah, sealed is really, really, really cool. The other thing about sealed is the way he showed it. Hopefully that was intentional. Hopefully he picked up on it. But the fact that it's on a scimitar is awesome because we know he scrapped the croc scythe for some reason because he didn't want scythe. He thought scythes were part of the Dragon King, so he didn't want to put scythes in croc because. So his option was to just, well, there'll be no more scythes ever, which is not a good thing. But with sealed, like with the scimitar, sealed's a way of you releasing the new weapon types of other expansions like katanas and scythes without requiring you to have that proficiency.
Cough, katanas. The king has a katana. Why would you? Unless you're scrapping that katana.
Yeah, I'm just going by what he said.
Whatever.
Again, he.
Anyway. But yeah, no, it's definitely. That's the best design space to put on there is to have scythes and katanas and have sickles and pickaxes with sealed on them. Why not?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff you could put sealed on that makes it great.
Sealed throwing weapons. Why not?
As long as they don't have crescent step. Do you have anything to say about crescent step other than it's bad? I mean, I don't even really want to talk about it. It's insanely good. I'm not saying the fighting art is great. This is insanely good, but no thought was put into this. Like no extended thought because this just
smooth brain. Yeah, just let me move 5-6 times in a round, technically. So you get your movement, and then you get your crescent step movement, and then you get your dancer armor movement, and then you dash, and then you surge and use double dash, and then you use your action to double dash again.
Yeah.
That's 6 moves.
Yeah. Yeah, this fighting art.
Oh, it's dumb. It's big dumb, and it's really, really amazingly good with Harvest Man.
I mean, it's amazingly good with it nullifies cumbersome, and it just hands out. I mean, it just further makes reach and range more powerful because you're never going to end within movement range of most monsters ever again.
Yeah. No, it's way too good, and it only exists. There was no thought put into it, and it only exists to demonstrate the sealed rule. Therefore, I don't care. It's kind of unfortunate because I actually like the Taximatar gear card.
Yeah, I love sealed. I would love if this would have been like mediocre, then it would be great because then you do it. It's a whole new thing. You add it to your game. Then you pass it down with family. You have like a whole family of scimitar users who use crescent step. It makes your settlement more unique. It makes the story that you get from the game much more thematic. But because it's so broken, I'll never use this.
Yeah, exactly. It's maybe I'll make an alternate one. Homebrew something.
It's a shame.
Like I don't know. It's the purge, but anyway. Yeah, it's a shame, unfortunate.
So that's crescent step. I don't want to talk about it anymore. So let's talk about Thighya. That's why everybody wants to.
Oh yeah, mine just came in yesterday.
Yep, Thighya is bae. Everyone loves Thighya.
It's unironically a really great art piece. I really like her design, and somehow mine came in immaculate condition. Poots loves me, I guess, even though he hates me.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not going to talk about that stuff. Shipping is unfortunate, and that's a shame that it happens. But that's
where we'll go with that, and that's it. We'll leave it there.
So where do you want to
but
start?
Thighya's rules are cool.
Where do you want to start? You want to talk about the axe or the proficiency?
We'll get the armor stuff out of the way first, and then we'll go to the gear cards.
So this proficiency is specifically a armor. It says it right on there. You can see it. It says armor proficiency. This is not a new tree. This is not a wonky thing like sealed. This is literally a entirely new design space for the game.
Great design space. I love it. I love it conceptually.
So with the fact that it is an armor proficiency, you can't wound with your armor unless you're wearing that Gorm thing, right? Isn't the Gorm, or is that an item? The Gore spikes.
That's an item. It's
an item. Okay. So
I think it's a tool. Well, it's an item anyway.
So there's no way of wounding with armor. So you need to have a new method of gaining proficiency. And this is you just take damage. Simple as that.
Which comes with its own caveats.
Yeah, we can talk about it if you want, but I'm willing to not talk about it. Should we do you want to just agree that this has a lot of superfluous wording and could have been worded a lot better?
Yes. I think Pooch probably did this at 1 a.m. on way too much. I think Pooch is a monster guy. For thematic sake, this is written kind of like a stroke in a lot of places. Yes, I am dunking as a writer on an extremely successful businessman, but we can ignore that. It's wonky. It's got some weird rules. I think I understand what it's intending. It's not worded like that, so I almost agree more with the the raw people on this one.
Yeah, this is not clear at all.
It's not.
And we're only talking about the proficiency itself. We have yet to get to the back of the card. The gear card. We'll talk about the recipe, but we'll
It's
just
some. It's something. I think the beta stuff is more about the rules than the actual examples, except for the fact that I don't think we're gonna get another lantern armor proficiency, so this is what we've got. And it just made the best armor set in the game even better.
yes. I think we'll get future armor proficiencies, and I hope they're much more clear on the wording of how they're supposed to be used.
Yeah,
So
probably.
let's just go with rules as intended, and I hate doing rules as intended because I'd much prefer the rules be written well. But this you can get so far. You could get so far into the weeds, and I don't want to do that with this. So we're just going to
No,
assume.
yeah, definitely.
Let's just read it the way that it's intended to be played, and I'll have the image up, and you can read what it actually says, and then decide for yourself. But I assume this is when a survivor is wearing full lantern armor, they may, when they depart, they can select lantern armor as their proficiency type instead of a weapon, because currently the rules say there's no way of selecting armor type, and the record sheets say armor type. So that's fair. It becomes a weapon proficiency, even though it is specifically an armor proficiency. You just need to be full set when you're doing it, and then during the aftermath, if you were wearing a full set, you were then eligible to gain a rank of proficiency if you took
If you
damage.
took armor, or if you took
Yes.
damage while wearing the full set, is the intent.
Yes, if you took damage
Prob-
that removed armor from a location within lantern armor.
Yes.
And then in order to claim the benefits of specialization or mastery, you must continue wearing the full lantern armor. And then there's a period.
Did you just notice the period?
So that's how it's supposed to probably read. And then all the other words in there and all the other not what I just said is just really debatable.
It's both too wordy and not specific enough.
Yes, I agree. But the intent is you can just wear a full set, you can claim the proficiency, and then if you continue to wear a full set in the aftermath, as long as something did damage to the location that had lantern armor, you can gain proficiency.
Yeah, that is the Occam's razor solution. That's how I'm going to be playing it, because I will be using this in my campaigns.
Yes,
Because I like it.
I think this is a really good armor set.
Yeah,
and
bonus. It's great.
I do think. Let's talk about the specialization. Now, the proficiency itself says in order for you to benefit from the specializations and masteries, you need to be wearing full lantern. And I think that is good. Unlike all other specializations, where if you have a master, then everybody gets the specialization. I do think that this should be limited to people wearing armor.
Well, also the specialization and masteries only apply to lantern armor inherently, so it wouldn't affect anything else, even if it didn't say that.
Well, no, because regular weapon masteries.
Well, no, actually, mastery is not specific.
Yes, regular masteries. If you.
But so yes, that makes sense.
Yes, so I do agree that this should only apply to people wearing lantern armor.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely, because that makes sense.
Yep. There is.
You do not become the lantern armor.
For its specialization, the specialization is quite mediocre, which is good because the mastery is quite good.
Yeah. I like it better than Convalescer. I'll say that much.
Yeah. We don't need to talk about that fighting art. Anything is better than that.
Okay, look,
category.
it's the same thing, so I have to compare it. Uh, no, but yes, specialization. If you don't mind, I'll just read it off.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Add +1 armor to all hit locations. Period. Ignore the accuracy and movement penalties from lantern armor. Period. So, two things. One, if you are deaf, do you inherently have -1 evasion, or is that a part of the severe injury and not the effect?
Yep. These rules could have been written better.
That's just a core KDM issue. I play it to where no, that does not give a -1 evasion, but that, and this seems to confirm that. Kind of.
Yeah. That's
Either way, it makes the helmet better.
both of them. Yeah.
It
I'm
does it kind of
I'm assuming
good.
that this oxidized is lantern armor, right? Because it doesn't mention oxidized helm.
Well, no, but it oxidized counts. It's got outfit.
Yeah, but that's not. But it's not part of lantern armor. It's not on the card.
Uh, Now I need to bring up the living glossary rule for
No, no,
outfit.
we don't. We can go talk about it because let's go look at Aya's thing. See, let's look at Aya's soldier. Her thing says can be used to complete a lantern armor set. Now it doesn't have outfit, but it has the set keyword. That confirms
Yeah, but
that
the thing is, keywords do nothing.
that's true.
Keywords inherently do absolutely nothing. They only exist to be referenced by outside sources.
Yep.
It is almost better to completely ignore their existence than to even comment on them.
Yep. I would say that there are times where some gear should have keywords, and sometimes the designer completely ignores their existence.
Yes.
Like Final Lantern. I'm sure, like you said, I agreed with you. I think Poots plays very casually. And that is how Final Lantern, or not Final.
Boots is an author and he's an artist. He's not a hardcore game designer, which I can understand because I'm the same way and I play Rye and it annoys people to no end.
I do agree with that. See, I agree with that 100%. I agree to the point that, however, he should be hiring people that cover his flaws. That's what you do in a manager's position. So if you're not a keyword person,
exactly.
yes.
Definitely. Also, so for the Soldier Lantern Querus, I think it's worded like that specifically so it works with the oxidized helm. Because outfit, this completes an armor set if you're wearing the rest of the set, and it shares a material keyword with the missing armor gear. So it can't be both outfit, because then neither would be in the lantern set, and you wouldn't be able to have both of them at once. Because you need the rest of the armor set plus one outfit thing.
Well, you need.
So the way that the Querus is worded, it is the Lantern Querus. It could have been worded like a Yu-Gi-Oh card where it says this is also called the Lantern Querus, which I don't know if that would have been better or worse. But I think the way it's worded only exists so it works with the oxidized helm.
Yes,
that makes sense.
Yes, the soldier one doesn't have outfit because then it would work with Phoenix.
Yeah, it would work with Phoenix. Two, it wouldn't work with an oxidized lantern helm because you can't have two outfit pieces the way that outfit is worded.
I don't know if it really. I'd have to look. I don't have the outfit pulled up. I don't know if outfit limits you to not.
Yeah, it does. This completes an armor set if you're wearing the rest of the set. So it would have to be a regular lantern helm if this said outfit.
Yeah, but doesn't...
That's what I'm thinking the idea was.
So here's what I'm
So it
thinking the
makes
idea
sense
was.
to an extent.
Because this has set on it, right? Outfits don't
Yes.
have the set keyword. Because they're not part of a set.
Awesome. Let me bring it up. KDM oxidized lantern helm. No, oxidized lantern helm has set.
Well, it shouldn't. It just literally
Well,
shouldn't, right? Because breastplate doesn't. Leather breastplate. And so doesn't... what's the other one?
Leather cuirass. No, leather cuirass has set. Or do you mean the hardened breastplate?
The hardened breastplate. Because that has outfit.
I think that existed before the outfit rule. Yeah, that's just armor, leather heavy.
All right. Well, I know Rawhide Headband in the Gambler's Chest also has outfit, but not set. Or no, it has...
Manhunter?
Well, Manhunter doesn't count because it doesn't actually have outfit.
The Manhunter hat's supposed to have outfit in COD, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, but he didn't do it in 1.6 card pack, so...
Yeah, oversight, I'm guessing. Card pack 2, baby! Coming to a Kingdom Death year near you, 2026.
Well, so the way... I'll have to look at all this stuff, but I think the way this is supposed to be is because it says can be used to complete a lantern armor set, makes it part of the set, and that's why it says set at the top. That way it's not an outfit and it can't complete Phoenix.
Yeah, it's twofold. It's so it cannot complete Phoenix or Dragon, and so it does work with the oxidized helm.
Yes. I think that is specifically why.
Yeah.
Because this has set, it becomes a part of the set that it denotes that it is.
Mm-hmm. It would also make the dragon armor good, and we can't be having that.
Yeah, I agree. This would be crazy if it had outfit on it.
Yes, that is correct. So it's good that it doesn't.
But even with...
I am fine with this.
Even without outfit, it's still good as an outfit. Because sometimes you don't need the Phoenix charge from having the complete set. Now, granted,
well, yeah, obviously.
Granted, the Phoenix armor is really good because that's the one that lets you ignore something for insanity the first time you're hit, but this would still work because it just says it adds 4 to all locations wearing metal.
Yeah, it's great for mixed sets.
Yeah, this is great for mixed sets.
I would put it on a Phoenix, everything else, with calcified shoulders and legs. And then I'd have a brick wall.
Yes, I think this is really good even without outfit. It's still good. This is such a unique piece of gear. I love this piece of gear because one, it's part of a set, but it's not added in the core game with that set. It's a way, it shows that there's ways to complete sets and add to them after the fact, which is great. Also, it without outfit, it doesn't limit itself. Like it doesn't say adds 4 to all lantern armor locations, right? It doesn't limit itself to it. It could have easily done that, but it didn't.
Well, the actual lantern cuirass doesn't either. So.
Yeah, but I'm saying this could, like, if he was intending to have it not be an outfit, like if he didn't want it to use his mixed set. Now, the one
mixed
thing,
sets in this game are better than people give them credit for, frankly.
Yes, I agree. I think the hybrid armor sets are very good, and I'm looking forward to the other ones in Gambler's Chest. But here's one thing that's weird. Why do you think this has other?
I know this flies in the face of oxidized gear, but uh, uh, Black Lichen is Black Lichen is from the Eternal Dream or the Ethereal Dream. I can never remember. Maybe that's why, even though oxidized equipment is not other. Maybe it's other because Aya is from outside the main continuity. Maybe it's other because, like the pattern gear with negative numbers, I don't know. It's magic. It's magic because it protects you even though it's bikini armor.
Yeah, it's kind of even I wasn't even talking like lore wise. I was talking like it seems overly negative to put other on this. Like you can't use it with most of the time with saviors, right? The intent is you save them for a later game because you don't want them to just die. So you don't use them in early game, but saviors can't wear other gear. So it just seems unnecessary.
Well, I think lore informs gameplay in a lot of places. Maybe it's because you are conquering the dream that saviors are repulsed by it. That's possible. I'm not really entirely sure. It seems quite random. And also, if it wasn't there, the card would look a little bit more symmetrical.
That's true. It should have been it should have been armor set metal. Then you hit the enter key.
I'm looking at it now, and it's off center. Wow.
Yeah. Well, no. We're not going to get into that because I tend to agree with you when you said that this stuff might have been made at 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I just found that really interesting that this had other on it.
Yeah, I think the lore reason is because you use Black Lichen to make it, and Black Lichen is other. It is outer, if you will.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think of Poise? I think Poise is very meh.
I think Poise is a fun late game generic thing like Sharp. I think it is the armor version of Sharp. That's what it is. It is blunt, it is to the point, it is strong, and it is generic.
I don't even know if it's like it's very situationally strong. I think it's one of those things. I think it's kind of like Barbed. That's my view of it. It's like Barbed. It's something that you don't really plan around and you're just happy it kind of has it, but you're never really it's forgettable.
You can honestly build around Barb specifically on the steel sword, and let's get some Oblivion brush steel sword shenanigans going.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, are you ever really going to put this? Are you ever going to look at this and say, "Wow, this has poise. I'm going to build a survivor who worries about getting knocked back on reaction, but at the same time also wears heavy gear"?
I think it's knocked down, actually.
Yeah, knocked down. My bad. It is knocked down.
I think like you put it on a lantern sword. Lantern sword's pretty high speed, relatively speaking. And obviously the mastery here helps that out to buff it even further. So you have a high speed, high accuracy, powerful weapon, and you have more chance to wound. It helps make stating less required. It's good. It's not absurdly good. It's not like refined is crazy good. I think there's some extremely good gear rules in this game. I don't think Poise is at absolute triple S class, but it's up there at like A.
Yeah, I don't know. It's neat. I agree. Poise is neat.
It's also Dark Souls.
Yes, I have heard that it's from,
well, Demon Souls technically.
Yes, I have heard that It's just straight from that. But as far as
And so is novel mastery, sword mastery. I think Poots has been playing too much Elden Ring.
it's very likely. I just don't know if poise is good for the game. Getting knocked down.
It's not amazing for the axe.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it takes a lot away from monster reactions. I don't know why. I mean, I get it. It's cool that it exists, but does it need to? Do you need to take so much away from? I mean, you have a lot of high power. It just puts a lot of like high power behind your swings, and it makes you care less about reactions, which I just don't know if that should really be handed out.
It's really hard to make, for one thing.
Oh, no,
it's
I agree.
really hard to make
In this case,
this
poise.
earpiece.
Yes, in this case, poise is good. I'm just talking in general. Like, if you see, what if you saw, let's say you saw poise on a hybrid outfit in Gambler's Chest that was on leather tier.
It'd be a bit much, maybe, unless there's a long process to unlock that hybrid armor set. Like if it comes from a very specific circumstances from scouts, to where maybe you have to watch a survivor get knocked down and stabbed to death by Savage Bone Eaters level 3.
Yeah.
It's all about context, really.
Yeah, I hope it just doesn't get. I hope it's just not something that they stick on gear to just say, well, this gear's adequate, let's just make it better, put poise on it, and then they just call it a day. It seems like it's just that kind of like, that level of something, where you just, no real thought is put into it.
Same as cleavage, really.
Yeah, again, we talked about cleavage last time. I don't think cleavage is exactly that great for the game either.
Though it's on a node 1 dagger. Anyway. Maybe the vertebrae net is level 3 locked. We don't know.
Hopefully. So one more thing.
But yet,
talking about it. What about opposing force? Opposing force, I think.
Opposing force is weird. I think opposing force is more situational than poise.
I think opposing force is super weird. I think I don't even know what this would even do. I don't. I think it's a lot more. It's given a lot more power than people think it has.
I think it helps a lot against Screaming Antelope, where people can hide behind you for Diabolical. Maybe.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say. And most monsters stop before they collide with you. And most of the time...
No, that's not true.
Well, when they go to attack you, most monsters stop before they collide with you. Besides for the, like you said, the Screaming Antelope, where it specifically tells you to collide. But most move and attack will stop before it hits you.
Yeah, but also lion reactions.
Lion reactions specifically say to move away, and away tells you not to head towards the survivor.
No, it's the ones where it's like move forward in a straight line.
Yes, those ones, you're correct. But that's what I mean, like, I agree with you 100%. It's very much situational, more situational than even poise is. Sure, it reads really well. When you first read it, you're like, wow, this is awesome. But, like, it's very specific.
Also, is it damage equal to its movement stat, or how far it's moved? Probably movement stat.
I think it's movement stat, yes. Which should have been capitaled.
Yeah.
Because then it is specifically talking about its movement stat attribute.
It's fun. It's funny that it's the longer part of the mastery, and it's by far the less powerful paragraph.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing here is, we'll talk about it, but the mastery doesn't say that it gives everybody specialization.
It doesn't, but it also does say innovation, so I'm I am in the camp to where I think it's supposed to give specialization. Which is fine because you usually only have 1 or 2 lantern armor sets.
Yes, I agree. I think the rules specifically say when a master returns, they create the innovation. So, and then it says the master benefits from the innovation as long as the innovation's there, and the innovation gives
The
the
settlement
specialization.
benefits from the innovation, yes.
So,
Because it does say armor proficiency, comma, innovation in its keywords.
Yep, I think this.
So it's supposed to. It's just was probably written at 1 a.m.
Yeah, I think Opposing Force took up too much of the card.
Probably.
When
Well,
it
they have a
100%
little
didn't
bit of-
need to, you could have just said when a monster would collide with you, you suffer damage equal to the movement, and then it stops moving any further. That other sentence of end the monster's movement adjacent to you or not, and do not suffer collision.
It's superfluous.
It's superfluous, yeah.
Yeah, when a monster would collide with you and its movement, you suffer damage equal to its movement stat.
Yeah, so it's a lot of superfluous stuff. Because again, I agree, it's probably written at 1 a.m.
It's like, oh shit, my deadline is in an hour.
Yeah.
The deadline that I set for myself.
Let's talk about the like you said, this is made with Black Lightning, and it's made with the Cuirass itself. So I asked about Black Lightning and on Kickstarter, and he responded. Didn't respond 100%, even though I asked him twice specifically, but he did respond. I choose to read it in a way that he responded correctly. So I asked about the Black Lycan and expansion monsters. I think he said yeah to it, but I asked him twice, and he never said specifically that everything drops Black Lycan at level 3. But I'm just going to assume that he meant to say that. Now, the other weird thing...
They'll probably all drop it in COD.
I agree.
Sorry.
No, I agree. I think the way this reads is yeah, and then there's probably supposed to be a comma, and then that looks about right is a different phrase, meaning that I was right about the nodes, except for probably Lion God.
Yeah, Lion God should probably be node 4.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think he was thinking too hard about that.
Yeah, I don't think he was thinking too hard about the questions. I asked him twice about Black Lycan, and he didn't answer. So, because that's the most important thing.
But no, it's the most powerful. Yeah, definitely. It like I was saying to you like before. It's definitely most powerful is highest node. Which means this thing is going to get progressively more difficult to make as Node 5 is introduced.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is either impossible to make or easy to make because the stupid recipe is so bad, right? It says Black Lycan from the most powerful quarry in your campaign, right? So for most people, that means a level 3 Phoenix because it needs the ability to drop a Black Lycan. And only level 3s drop Black Lycan. But Phoenix comes with this thing called the God of 1,000 Battles, which is most definitely the strongest quarry in the game.
But that is a Phoenix. It is... The King of 1,000 Battles is not a quarry. It is a Phoenix, which is a quarry, and it is a special Phoenix. It's probably not the King of 1,000. It's definitely supposed to be just highest node level 3+.
Then, as you said, yes. So this becomes very problematic because that's either, if you have expansions, then it's either always Lion God or Dung Beetle Knight, or it's just super subjective. I think he should have just put node 3.
Well, you could just be playing with... No, it's just highest. It should be highest node. I definitely think it should be highest node.
No, yeah, I agree.
I definitely think that it's tiptoeing around the issue of he doesn't want to publish the node rules yet.
That is my point. Yes.
Segway. Moped.
I don't even if
Uh,
you didn't want to understand. I don't. So here's his comment. The intent was looking towards our node system, which we don't have any official rules printed yet. As it is beta content, I would accept any reasonable consensus a group comes to in regards to which the most powerful quarry of their campaign. So, again, most people are just... So if Lion God's in there, it's de facto Lion God, but Lion God doesn't drop Black Lycan, and he didn't answer that. So, the Black Lycan thing was really what I wanted him to answer. But,
yeah.
assuming...
He tried to, but was tired or angry.
Yeah, because then I asked him again, like, is Black Lycan drop everything? And then he just says, yeah, that looks right. But I'm assuming that it's yeah, comma, and then the nodes look right. But either way, I don't know why he didn't just put node 3, right? Say you don't... I think every player who buys beta content looking to play with it in their game would know exactly what you're talking about if you just would have put Black Lycan from a node 3 quarry.
Yes. Yes. Period.
Yeah, that's...
Frankly, the card pack should have come with a little slip of paper that says, oh, by the way, everything that's node 2 plus, meaning a not Gorm, drops a Black Lycan.
Yeah, I mean...
Should have been in there.
It is... It's beta content. Like, you don't need to word it... It's like defeating the purpose of beta content by wording it so it doesn't quite test new stuff.
The thing is, this isn't beta content. This is look at this cool stuff content.
I agree. I 100% agree that it's not beta content because he's also not looking for feedback.
Yeah, he's a bit protective of his baby, which I understand. I don't agree with.
Yeah,
anyway.
I just thought it's really weird. It should just say node 3. But yes, you're 100% accurate. The way that it is now, it's only going to get much more difficult because you're going to have to fight a king.
Screaming God level 3.
Yeah, the way that it is...
Or 5, whatever level that Screaming God goes to.
Yeah, the way it's worded actually makes it harder to craft in the future if you would have just put node 3. So I don't get it. But that's how you craft it. You craft it by whatever you think is the strongest, and then you kill it and get yourself a Black Lycan. And that's how it's crafted.
It also requires Exhausted Lantern Horde instead of Blacksmith.
Yes. We will talk about that let's talk about the axe now. So
okay.
Well, we'll just go right into it. So the axe is crafted with a lantern halberd. Now, let's be specific. That is the Kingsman weapon. So many people thought it was a lantern glaive when this first came out. That is
it
the
would have been
Kingsman.
Good as a lantern glaive, but it's Kingsman locked.
It's not only Kingsman locked, it's also People of the Lantern locked.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure People of the Lantern is the only campaign that uses Kingsman anyway.
That's the other thing. I mean, I'll be doing something on Slenderman soon, but that's the other thing. Most people don't even play with Kingsman even now.
Yeah, exactly. Because Kingsman is pain. I don't like that fight. Nobody likes that fight. Poots doesn't like that fight. That's why he made Atlas.
Yep, that's why Kingsman's not in the chest. When he should be.
Well, no, because there's probably a King's Curse philosophy. Refined Lantern Axe is boring.
I think this is fine. I think Refined Lantern Axe is fine. It is strictly an upgrade to the Lantern Halberd. And that's fine, I guess.
It activates the red right on Lantern Greaves.
Yeah, it's very
that
adequate.
One's always a little bit tricky to.
This is
get.
This is super adequate. This is like super adequate.
It's as good as the Refined Lantern Sword. It's a little bit better. Because it should be, because it's hard to make. it's a lantern weapon. Like, it's a lantern. It has the
Yeah,
lantern
it's the
keyword.
keyword. It looks nothing like a lantern halberd.
It does a little bit, but also it went from two-handed to one-handed, and from just a spear to just an axe.
Yep, very weird. I think it's
I think
neat. I think
it's
this is
stuff.
very adequate. I think this is very fine for what it is. I think it's good.
Yeah, it's a good gear piece. If I
Now,
ever run Kingsman again, I'll use it. Anything else? I think that's pretty much it.
yep, this is
Lantern
all.
Mastery is too strong.
Yeah, Lantern Mastery is much too
Lantern
strong.
Mastery is way too strong. Perfect Hits is I'm gonna say the second best effect in the game, behind movement up. Possibly third best behind luck up. Opposing force is fine, but it's mostly that everything gets a club, and thusly everything gets sharp, extra accuracy, and perfect hit range.
Yeah, being a master lantern armor is
Uh,
definitely insanely overpowered.
I'm frankly surprised that it wasn't the old lantern set bonus of
Ignore
you can
overwhelming
ignore.
darkness. Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I think that would have been a neat thing, but nah.
I think that was the. I think I think that was him realizing that lantern armor wasn't actually lanterns.
It is. It's made of lanterns, just doesn't glow.
Yeah, they don't glow, so I think that's why he changed it. I think he used to think they glowed. Or they glue. I think that's literally what I think.
You're like walking around with a bunch of glow sticks taped to yourself.
That's literally what I think he thought. Cause,
That
cause
and then, but then when he had to do the post watcher, you have to have a lantern. He had to change.
yeah, because remember, lantern halberd didn't have lantern as a keyword.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think he literally just thought you were like
That's
glowing
dumb.
beacons of light.
Oh man, I hope, frankly, that makes me like Poots a little bit more.
I think that's what it was. No, I think that's exactly what it was. And why else would it ignore overwhelming darkness? Because you have a light source with you all the time.
Because it says you feel invincible.
But that doesn't change the
That
what.
was like it said you feel invincible. Ignore overwhelming darkness. Because overwhelming darkness is mostly a mental thing, except for when it's not.
Yeah,
Like when you get visited by the eternal dreamer, or find a random survivor and have to spend all your survival.
yeah, or when it's described in the rule
OD is
book
weird.
as being the point at which the lantern's light doesn't reach. The
Well,
lantern horde
yeah,
light,
but
yeah.
it's because you can no longer see the lantern horde. It's a mental. This is off topic.
No, yeah, I think that's why that used to ignore. I think he literally thought people glue.
That's really hilarious. I mean, if you look at the art on the specialization / mastery, you can see that lantern armor those are the sides of lanterns being used as like splint,
Yeah, it's just made
and
from
that's why
lanterns.
the soldier cuirass is. Yeah, but that's why the soldier cuirass is better, because it's a solid plate as opposed to a bunch of lanterns strapped to yourself.
Yeah, it's her hardened breastplate. It looks like it. You know, I know
I
you're
think it
always
looks like it
looking
design wise.
for lore, because I know you were asking about what is it? She's collecting coins from something. That's what the lore said.
The 13 crowns of death.
Yeah, I think she's out there killing Kingsmen. That's why it's made from the Lantern Howard.
I think that it's a very much Legend of Zelda type deal where every boss has one of the crowns. So like every dragon, because obviously she's been beyond the wall. I think she got one from beyond the wall. Storm Knight probably has one. I think the Scribe probably has one. The Golden Entity, the BDE bosses of Kingdom Death probably each have one. And it's like a Dark Souls 2 thing where if you gather all the crowns, then you're immortal or something.
Oh, it's collecting the 7
Because
Dragon
that was a
Balls.
thing in Dark Souls 2. It's collecting the 7 Dragon Balls. I hate you. I'm gonna summon Shenron and end the nightmare.
No, he loved. I mean, that we don't forget Super Survivors.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happens when you get all the
I
13 things.
That hurts my soul to think about.
All right. Then on that note, yep. So thank you for joining me. I'll see you the next time there's more beta content. After we get it, and then after we
Yeah,
clarify Poots with comments. Hopefully that doesn't become a trend.
gotta.
I hope we don't need to clarify beta content and how it works anymore.
I think he might have just been having a manic break at the time, and thus was commenting by by a lot of his responses. But yeah, thanks for having me as always. Again, every viewer better check out the CCG, or I'll find you. But yeah, thanks for having me again.
Yep. Thanks for joining me. It's always fun.